Hey guys, we're back on day 7. There is an H scene, so I had to cut that. Um, it started at the end of the last video, so well, if it ended up is abruptly the right word, then that's why. Anyways, we're here with Slavya at the canteen. We wanted breakfast. Day 7. We know what day 7 is. It's the day we leave. Like everybody leaves the place. The canteen was open indeed, and strangely, we were the first. We're the first visitors. It wasn't a surprise that breakfast wasn't all luxurious. Oatmeal, 2 eggs, dry bread, and watery tea. I never liked local food. Me too, to tell you the truth. Slavia laughed, but there's no choice. It's quite good on an empty stomach. That's right. We don't know that we're leaving yet, though, by the way. Unlike me, she was eating carefully. I was dropping porridge on my shirt and spilling tea over myself as usual. Do you always eat like this? Anything around will get that? Asked with a full mouth. She just laughed. I'm a messy eater too. That's why I don't like to eat in front of other people. Because I always end up spilling food or something. I also have bad handwriting. I can't keep my hand still, so I always end up It always happens when I'm really hungry. Of course, I can be more civilized. Well, I can at least try. No worries, it's nothing. Soon we had finished the breakfast and went to the exit. Soon as I noticed we were the only people in the canteen, Olga appeared at the threshold. Oh, it's you. Well, I won't ask where you did spend the night, so it is. Game leader is obviously embarrassed. Good morning to you too, Olga. Slavy said it with a bright smile. Yes, morning. Well, don't forget to pack your things. We won't. What does that mean? Some hiking in? Asked Slavy when we left the canteen. No, today's the last day. Have you forgotten? Last day of what? Last day of the session. Oh wow! Oh man, the theme! To say the other word stroked me numb was to say nothing. Wow, why? Shy. Why so surprised? Didn't you know? It was said during the lineup. Even at those lineups, which I attended, I was sleeping standing. No, you know. Slavy said, smiling naturally. And what should I do? The words stirred massive emotions inside me. On one hand, I'll get out of this case camping list. I might get some answers. On the other hand, I've just found something very important to me. I have to let it go? What do you mean? Oh, nothing. And when is the departure? In the evening, at 5 or 6 o'clock. Well, still a lot of time. Yes, and I have some things to do. I should find Xenia. She might be worrying. It does happen to the whole night. Oh, well, worrying is so much like you. See you at lunch. Slavia gave me a kiss on the cheek and ran away. I kept standing at the canteen's entrance. I had absolutely nothing to do, nothing to pack, so the only thing to do was to wander around the camp without leaving and think. I'd give anything to get a vacuum on my head for this 10 hours. I always pulled me out of the cans. Hello. Electronics stood it before me as merry as usual. You too. I replied absentmindedly. The whole camp is talking about me. What? About you? They're talking about me? I guess I know why. So you did that already? Yeah. What are you talking about? Yeah. We totally, went swimming together. Yes, giggling. Do you really think it concerns you? Oh no, I keep quiet. Leaving him alone with his guests as I walked to the square. Why does he behave in a way that drives everyone mad? Everyone hates electronic. Although it drives not just me, probably. I was completely immersed in thought, not looking around, and didn't notice Miku, who... Haha, caught it. Who bumped into me. Oh, sorry, I should be more careful. Also, last time I didn't notice you. You know what happened. Oh, had I through her and kept walking. Oh, suddenly I noticed, what's up with Slavia? Tell me, it's so interesting. It seems that everyone knows except me about it in the whole camp. No, I'm not that curious, but since everything is all so serious, saying that she is not curious is the same as denying the universal truth. Nothing special. Asked without turning back. Well, if you don't want to, I should isolate myself from the outside irritation. So Miku's other words passed by. The square scenery soon changed to the beach. Luckily, juvenile gem of Soviet pop scene wasn't around. I took a place in the sand and started gazing. Wait, juvenile? Is that talking about Alyssa? I think so. I'm not actually sure on that one. Juvenile gem of the Soviet pop. That sounds like Alyssa. Took a place on the sand and started gazing by the river. Why on earth is the whole camp so interested in my relationship with Slavia? In my world, nobody would have said a word. At least out loud. At least you don't hear things they say behind your back. For now, I started to endure gossip, just so I wouldn't have to report to everyone about my private life. The sun was rising higher and higher, and I was drifting off. My eyes have already been closed when I heard someone have been sat nearby. Ah, she's here, the juvenile pop scene. It was Alyssa. Congratulations, meaning? Don't you know it yourself? Yeah, that's not taking Einstein to make a guess. To be honest, I'm sick and tired. Everyone here just has to mention it. Enough. And what did you expect? It's out and ordinary for the camp. I would even say exceptional. She left. To own the camp leader just like that, even Oleana wouldn't manage. Me too, probably. I didn't know how to respond like that. Like a compliment or mockery. You know, you're just seeing things. There's nothing unusual for me. Moreover, I don't understand why you have poked your nose into my life. Don't you think that's just my personal matter and nobody else's? Maybe so, maybe so. Alyssa said mysteriously. We were sitting silently for a while. I wanted her to leave as soon as possible, but Alyssa was observing pioneers on the beach, and it didn't seem like she was planning to go anywhere. So what are you gonna do next? What are you talking about? Today's the last day. Yeah, so what? Everyone will leave. So? And Slavya will leave too. And you will leave too, so go break up. I know it myself, thank you. Obviously. What do you think about it? What should I think? I can't be here forever. Of course you can. Oh what? Will you just let it go like that? No. I mean, what can I do? Frankly speaking, I really had no idea what to do next. There's a complete mess in my head. I'll be able to get out of here. This was the most important thing for me during my last week. Now I have to answer a much more difficult question. How did camp romance end for common Soviet teenagers? My romance was a camp one for sure. They just went home and that was it. They could live thousands of kilometers away from each other. In my case, different worlds. It's not like one can come up with a decent solution for such a problem in a couple of hours. Like I know, it's up to you to decide. Let's say and stood up on the end of the river. There's only about half an hour to lunch and I walked slowly to the canteen. Pioneers didn't manage to occupy all 3 tables, so I was able to choose quite a good place, but to my regret, not my favorite one in the corner. I was just about starting when someone pulled a chair out of the table in front of me, with an abrupt movement and took a seat. Hey there, how are you? That was Oleana, an extraordinarily polite version of her. I was fine until now, I sneered. Oh come on, better tell me what you're gonna do. Eat, I said. I'm not talking about that. The session's over, you and Slavya are going to part. What's next? It's like my future is the priority issue of all the local tenants. Hey, what really is the matter? Just curious. Curious about what? I don't ask you what you're going to do tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow, or after a month. Why do you have to get into someone else's life? I'm not getting anywhere. Oleana said, being offended. Not really good at this stuff. Sure enough, you're still a kid. So you gotta explain this, you're an adult here. Wait, so is she really a kid or is she a fake Slavya? I'm not for sure. What should I explain? So you're gonna be talking through letters, right? And then you're gonna go to the camp next summer together? Talking through letters. Sounds so wild to me. And I don't mean the paper sheets and envelopes, I mean the possibility to lose Slavya for a year, or even longer, or forever. So what? May I join you? I raised my eyes and saw Slavya standing with the food tray near me. Okay, it's time to go. Oleana jumped and dashed off into the far corner of the canteen. What were you talking about? You know her. What could we possibly be talking about? Slavya smiled. Took care of your business? Yes, I'm now completely free. I can help you pack your stuff. It's not like I have much to pack. Well, then you can help me with my stuff. Sure. This is the perfect opportunity for a quiet talk with her, although I had not the slightest idea of what I should be talking. Soon we finished our meal and I headed to Slavya's cabin. This is going to be another H scene. Everything was clean and neat, not like Olga's cabin. Well, I'm not sure what I should start with. She took out her travel bags and started to rummage through a cabinet. Meanwhile, I sat on the bag and started gathering my thoughts. Do you have any plans after the camp? What are you going to do? Well, you know. She raised her eyes up on me and gave me a smile. I'll go to the school. Yeah. And you? What about me? It's not like I'm really considering going to high school for a second time. Me? Well, me too, I guess. Although I don't really feel like going back to my city. Seriously speaking, even if I felt like going back, I had nowhere to go anyways. Why? Just because there's nothing to do there. Nothing at all. No one waits for me there. But your parents? My parents. Well, you know, they're not there now. Well, where are they? They're, working abroad. Yeah, no, they're, you know, they haven't even met yet, most likely. So you're one lucky guy. She smiled merrily. Why? Born stuff and all. Wait, would they have met yet? Let's see, Semyon was about, give or take, 30 years old. So if he was 30, And yeah. So he was born around like I don't know what year this game takes place in, but around the 70s and 80s. So it's possible they've met, given that this is the same world. You know, stuff actually exists, unless you're on the letter out. I wouldn't call my situation such a look. Well, anyways, don't be upset. She really looks like she doesn't understand what I'm saying. Not upset about it. And it was true. Then what? Many things. For example, I was about to start a vast outburst about my situation and my wish not to part with Slavya when my door flung open with a bang and Zenny entered. Ah, there you are. Yes, we were packing. See, it's a good thing that I didn't come 10 minutes later, or I would disturb your packing. Ah, Zenny! Slavya blushed and kept on stuffing her things in the bag anxiously. What's up, hero? The lover? Is that a thing? Like, that form of her dress gave me the creeps. I imagine Xenia being one of those creepy girls who writes like erotic stories that nobody reads. Like, am I the only one? Like, am I the only one here, or nothing? She stared at me intently for some time. Watch it. Now more than just yourself depends on your choices. I didn't reply, and Xenia left the cabin after those words. What did she mean? I think you can never know for sure, and yet, well, I want to talk about you itself, and I was about to start, but then, about what? Slavya looked at me carefully. It's just, today we're leaving, right? Right, and we'll move to our cities. Well, yeah, and when will I see you the next time? Slavya grew thoughtfully. I don't know. And I don't know what to. You can write me letters. She smiled, but her smile didn't bring me peace of mind. Yes, of course, but you know, this is not the same. What is it then? Can I go with you? I decided to take a chance and say everything directly. What will you be doing there? Slavya seemed to be not surprised, but a bit vexed. Studying, parents, what will people say? I wasn't thinking about the opinions of other people. To be honest, it didn't worry me much. Well, we can always find a way. Don't lose your way. What way? I'll think up something. So, I mean, we're too young for this. In fact, I'm not. So what? Maybe after some time. How much time do you need? A year? 2 years? 5? You say it as if... I don't know. She seemed confused. So everything that happens here is just a holiday romance? I started getting angry. Of course no, just... What? I'm not ready to discuss it right now. Let's talk about it later. When later, I only have a couple hours left till departure. Slavya said nothing, continued to pack her things. I expected from her kind of reaction, but not this. In fact, she just pushed me away. Turns out she doesn't need any continuation of our relationships. So I'm not important to her. You think it's complicated only for you. It seems to me that it's hard for you too. But for some reason, you do not think so. What if I told you that I don't have a place to go back? That since last Monday there's no more life, and in any way I have to start from scratch? I don't know. That does not sound very reasonable. And it shouldn't! And yet it is true. Then what? Please explain. I came to this camp by accident. Actually, I'm from another time, perhaps another world, from the beginning of the 21st century. I'm older than I seem. I do not really know how I got here. Slavya stared at me, said something. These moments dragged on endlessly. I waited for her to laugh at me, call me sick, or something even worse. Why are you telling me all this? Finally she asked quietly. I want you to understand my situation. But it just sounds stupid. Of course, if I were you, I'd react the same way as you. And what do you expect from me? Don't know. I just felt like I needed to confess. I'm not saying that you're lying, and I don't consider you a psycho, but I understand me. I just can't believe it. And I understand. I just thought it would help you understand my situation and my actions motivation. It didn't, to be honest. I said in frustration. My opinion hasn't changed, but you'd be better off packing your stuff or you'd be late. Let's talk later. I was going to argue. Slavya hasn't changed her mind after my confession, then it's pointless to press on right now. Distressed, I shuffled off to Olga's cabin. Camp leader stood at the doorstep and looked like she was waiting for me. Why are you so gloomy? Something happened? No, nothing. Just came to pack my things. Oh, come on, let it out. You might feel better. Well, how do you think I can prove that I'm telling the truth to someone that doesn't believe me? Are you absolutely sure you're telling the truth? Absolutely. Then perhaps someone just might need time to consider. Exactly, there's no time left. Then I don't know. She lifted her hands in dismay. Well, it's something at least. I fastened my winter clothing into a bag and headed to the bus stop. If a couple of days ago I saw Icarus just standing at the gate of the camp and waiting for pioneers, I would be the happiest person in reality. But right now, I wasn't in the mood to rejoice. There's plenty of time left till the bus departure. I sat down on a curb and buried my head in my hands. Why so sad? Oh, Atlanta! She's definitely going to be is it Anne or antagonist of the game? I'm calling it now. I'm calling it. It's either, if there is one, it's either, there's three people it can be really at this point. Lena, is it Yulia or Yulia? I've seen her name spelled three different ways, so I don't know. Or the Pioneer, the one with the red bold. Like it's not bold, but the red Pioneer, I guess. Why so sad? Familiar voice dragged me out of thinking. Just had a fight with Slavya? One could say so. What's the reason? She doesn't believe I'm an alien from the future. I smiled ironically. I wouldn't believe it either. She said, Lena, seriously. If I were in your shoes, I wouldn't believe it too. It's not a big deal. We'll make up a quarrel. Yeah, but it's not much time left to. Left to what? To make the right choice. After some time, the whole camp got together at the bus stop. Oh, it's this CG again. Everyone's here? Again, Olga. You're leaving your camp today, and I'd like to tell you something at parting. She's visibly nervous and desperately lost for words. I hope you'll remember the time spent here for a lifetime, and that you'll keep only pleasant memories about Slavya. Isn't this the same speech from the seminar ending? I also hope that you'll become at least a little bit better, manage to learn something and found new friends. Just come back next year. Camp leader turned away. It seemed like she was trying to hold back tears. I don't expect her such emotionally, although her speech sounded like a complete nonsense to me, as usual. Of course, this is where I met Slavya. Now we're going through a tough time. What will happen next is clearly unclear. So I don't care about whether I'll miss this place and Olga or not. Unlikely. When pioneers started to get on the bus, I pushed through the crowd of Slavya. Let's sit together. Okay, she said quietly. I haven't thought I saw a shadow of a smile on her face. What man is this eating? Bus flew across my expanses of the new world. Outside fields had followed forests in the calm rivers and highlands. I felt familiar with all this as if it's my homeland. Anyways, the surroundings were the least of my concerns now. I was trying hard to find the right words to start the conversation. You know, this bus isn't very big. Like, is everybody from the camp here on it? I didn't really think of that before. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's about 20 seats in it, and I don't think that's enough to hold everyone. I mean, who's the driver? Is it Olga, or is it like some unknown driver that is never going to be seen for whatever reason? We're just sitting there, probably a couple hours, but all attempts to strike up a conversation end up with one-word answers. Forget about what I've said before. I do not want to make excuses to say it's not true. Just now, the most important thing for me is you. I understand? She looked at me carefully. Even though I sometimes act the wrong way and talk nonsense, still the main thing for me now is to be with you, and it always will be. I understand that I acted too recklessly and planned stupid adventures, but we can make everything right, together, you and me. Slavya was gazing at me. Do you realize that it will be difficult? You can't just run blindly into the dark, because then there will be so many answers that we won't be able to solve. Yes, I understand it now, but for you, I'm ready, prepared for anything. She didn't say a word, but just kissed me gently and put her hand on my shoulders. Definitely meant a yes, definitely. Then she says no. I didn't want to bother her anymore. Let her sleep. The point is that Slavya finally understood me, understood what she means to me. She realized that I'll do anything for the sake of her. Even if I'm overreacting or deciding too early, she's ready to put me on the right path. The path that will walk together. At night started to claim its right, and the bus settled down into sleep. First I tried to fight it, but if there's any use to endure and waste my effort, when finally the future became crystal clear, my ears shut for a moment. Ooh, do I call it here or keep going for the epilogue? Oh, you're on a bit longer than usual, but let's just keep going. There are dreams that you don't want to wake up from. It's like one is floating down a warm river towards somewhere far beyond the horizon, blissfully beholding a vain world, hiding beyond clouds. The past is left behind, its echoes do not tear the soul, and the future is right here, just reach out. It doesn't matter what is awaiting there. The very process of immersing into this fairy world of serenity and happiness itself is much more important. I've always believed that the universe was once in this state, and one day it will come back to that again. Our life was just a blink of an eye, just a second in comparison to the universe. Birth and death of stars in a minute, and those of galaxies are hours. Even all of that, summed up together, will not even be a day. Nobody thinks about how to live each specific second, so does it really matter what each drop in a stormy river running beyond the horizon of existence does? And we're back here. This is further proof for my theory that Lena has something to do with all of this. I opened my eyes and stretched blissfully. I had no desire to stand up as I felt myself in perfect bliss, being muffled with a blanket. After all, I don't have to go anywhere. As usual, actually. But I don't have any plans, so why should I just sleep? I rolled over and stared at the old swollen wallpaper covering the cave wall. Wonder how long ago did they renovate this room last time? Why is here a wallpaper instead of wood anyways? Dim guesses began to appear somewhere deep in my mind. Threw a blanket away, jumped out and furiously began to look around. Yes, I was in my flat again. First I felt paralyzed. The shock was so strong that my brain was unable to realize what was going on. I just turned and gazed at the screen of the monitor and the table opposite me. I had no thoughts. It seemed that I was forgetting to breathe. Finally, my mind began to clear up. What happened anyways? I fell asleep in the bus, going to the district center? Yes, something like that. Slavya was sitting by my side. Now I'm back here. It seemed like during the week I spent here, in the camp, I got so used to the fact of never coming back to my previous life that now I had no idea how to react to all this. First was main was just to get home, but in the end, everything was like in a bad movie. At last, I had come back and I'm still shocked. No, I felt fear. I felt no fear. I was rather interested and upset. After all, I had already made up my mind to start a new life with Slavya, leaving all my problems behind, insult, suffering, self-examinations, unfinished fears, and plans for the future. Obviously, that life would be not worse than this one, at least. But there's no returning to it now. On the other hand, if one told me a week ago that I would go to a different world just like that in the blink of an eye, I would not believe him. And so what makes the repetition of these fantastic events possible to happen again? Moving my legs with difficulty, I went to the kitchen, got a glass of water, and returned to the room. Ice cold liquid with a disgusting aftertaste of bleaching powder revived me to some degree. Wait, what do I get to drink? Glass of water? Or what? Now I'm decided what to do next. Suddenly I realized that I could not bear silence. After turning the computer on, I launched her, ended up setting the plane. Someone calm down. Seriously speaking, what can I do? Recently I realized that absolutely nothing depends on me. By someone's will, I was pulled out of the usual world and then sent back. No answers I found during the week in the camp. What's the point of speculating now? I must forget everything that happened, like a bad dream. Maybe those were hallucinations. I don't really care now. The only thing that prevented me from completely forgetting this short stage of my life was Slavya. I recalled her smile and all the time we spent together. From the meeting at the very first day to the night in the camp and departure from the camp. Wait. Night in the forest and departure from the camp. Oops. My heart furiously jumped inside the chest, feeling oppressive pain all over my body. I liked her at first. So gentle, caring, understanding. Just like that anime heroine. Which one's the drug and which one's the female form of hero? I don't know. What was her name? The one that helped an antisocial fellow like me deal with depression? Is he talking about Welcome to the NHK? I never actually finished it, but I got like 15 episodes in or so. I think that's what he's talking about. If you think those such people in your life, Slavya asks nothing in return, needing no encouragement, never expecting to be understood or praised for her work. She just was being herself, the girl that cannot exist in your life. If you think clearly, all is exactly this way, and no other. Some say it's that I've seen one week-long dream. About the pioneer camp, Soviet teenagers in the camp leader, after warm summer nights and gathering around fire, after light-headed child games and simple and human joys, after at one moment that lasted a week in the everlasting summer. Ha ha ha. Well, I just seen. I've been there. I've been a part of everything. My eyes unwillingly filled with tears. Not the tears of pain or despair, but tears of sorrow and bright melancholy. Even if everything is over, I've experienced something that most people have never even dreamed about. Slavya's image flashed on my hand? Or head? Brighter and brighter. Oh, I'd love so much to return from that camp with me. But I have nothing to offer her now, but ahead is my entire life. I guess I learned a lot of useful lessons from these events. I couldn't help thinking it seems right. Just like it was written by some sampled pattern. A loser hero, a fantastic incident, and a wonderful transformation. Guess it's not possible. Not in this life. Will I become a person I've been before a day? A week later? Well, it's the most realistic course of events. One thing is clear. I'll never return back. After a month passed after I returned from Sovanok, or to say more correctly, after I woke up, I returned to my usual life of a loner. Surfing the internet for days, going outside only to shop, as expected, began to suit me again. While obviously moments of melancholy and depression occurred, a person like me just can't do without them, but they lasted no longer than usual, except those times when, while sleeping, I was returning to that summer, that mysterious camp. But after awakening, I tried to banish these thoughts as soon as possible. After all, what's the point of dreaming of becoming a wizard? Even if miracles happen, and I demonstrated that they do, they're completely independent of us. The word sweet doesn't give a sweet taste, regardless of how often you pronounce it. But nevertheless, something has changed in my existence. Formerly, I wasn't thinking ahead. I didn't really care about how much I lived. 1 week or 40 years, but now I look forward with optimism. Not like I try to change something or become another person, but the world just seemed more understandable. Not simple, not friendly at all, just understandable. Before I just couldn't cope with some events or facts, though I kind of realized that they were there for a reason. Now I started seeing life as something simpler. What happens for the best. Or at least happens and I can live with it. If I can't, I'm powerless in this case. I guess I started smiling more often. Or at least I didn't carry that deep, universal frustration that 24/7. Even my acquaintance and the internet obviously noticed some change in me. They agreed in opinions that these changes are good. Now I think I'm ready to live on, thanks to Sovanok and its inhabitants. Without them I wouldn't be able. It was the beginning of January. The city hardly recovered from the after New Year hangover. Streets were almost empty at day. Not talking about nights. There were when the only stranger walking down the street seemed extremely busy with some business, rushing somewhere for a reason that couldn't wait. I had no such reason. I just decided to have a little walk. It was necessary to breathe the fresh air sometimes. Winter night is the best time to stay alone with your own self. I always thought that the true solitude might be in the filled in a crowd rather than a burning hot desert, boundless plain, or at the top of a mountain covered with snow. In this stream of people, words, thoughts, and aspirations, anyone had his aim and direction. And I was the only one strolling among them, deserving no attention from others. Maybe it's like vectors, moving different directions? They never meaning Cartesian coordinates. It's the same thing here. These people are walking, running in one direction, and I'm dragging along in the other. But did I feel lonely? Before, yes, but now highly unlikely. In bright, blinding lights of the city, noise of cars and swirling of crowds, I enjoyed a heavenly symphony of silence. But now the situation is slightly different. There's just me in the street, not city. So I'm alone, not only with my own self, but with the whole world. Being a sand grain in the desert is not the same thing as being a water drop on the seashore. In the crowd, nobody noticed me, nobody paid any attention. By now, everyone will peek out the window, or while driving a car will think, why can't he just stay home? Maybe some urgent matter. Suppose he's mad, or just a drunk. I never liked sticking out of the crowd, and when it's not appropriate, so opposing myself to society was never an option for me. But now it's different. I really tried to tell everybody, look, I can be happy too. You need your TV and your hot chocolate. But I need the snow, the night, the dark room, and a dull monitor screen. Look, I'm not any worse than you in any way. I felt sadness in my heart, but it was a serene sadness. Do I really need things that they have and I do not? Maybe I have something much more valuable. I haven't noticed how I came to the bus stop on the 410th route, bringing back memories. Sat down and rummaged through my pockets trying to find cigarettes. However, the package was empty. Fine. Scrambled and threw it into the bin. Maybe I'll get healthier. A lonely star was shining in the sky. Today I read on the internet that one of the most beautiful astronomical events has already ceased to exist according to the calculation of scientists, so we'll only see it decades later. Maybe the star has already exploded as well, and now is the only beautiful image in the night sky, somewhere nearby a lost planet on the edge of the galaxy. However, why does one or another exist? Is it simply because it's just there, has shape and can be touched, or is it because we believe that it exists? At first sight, the answer is simple, but on the other hand, even if the star is gone, we can still see its cold light. Maybe it'll help someone get out of the wintry snow forest, give someone hope, a bit of warmth to someone else. But a simple astronomical object that exploded God knows when do all of this? Can billions of people believe in something that doesn't really exist? But the belief itself never made any object real. At least, I've never heard of it. Snowfall grew stronger. Now it's a real snowstorm. Midnight. I was about to leave, but suddenly someone emerged from the solid white bell and ran under the bus stop roof. Hey, Slavya. Hey, Slavya, right? It was clearly a girl, as she had a long ponytail jutting out of her hood. I don't see ya. She stood with her back to me, so I couldn't discern her face. Excuse me, has the latest bus already arrived? Oh wow, she has the same color name as Slavya. What a coincidence! She asked without turning to me. Where can you be heading to so late? 410th must be the most cursed route in the city. Not only it sometimes takes people away to another reality, but it can't even ride when we want it to. There's only one more bus coming, just after midnight, I think. Thank you. A smile was clear in her voice. For some time I was just sitting silently examining the girl. Finally she spoke. Where are you going so late? Is it really interesting for her? Just having a walk? Answered thoughtfully. Not skeptically. And you, are you here for something important? Well, not really. Just going home. Where do you live? Couldn't help asking. Far away, she said vaguely. I lived nearby. It's a good area. I would say there couldn't be a worse one. I didn't have too many options. You don't like it? Don't know. I got used to it by now. I think that people can be happy anywhere they want. Perhaps. Well, think of it. People live even on the North Pole, in stations, I mean. And in the Sahara Desert, and in many other places. People themselves are the most important. It's difficult to disagree with you. My comment sounded so philosophical. Then I smiled unwillingly. Do people actually live in the North Pole? Like, I mean, you know, like she said in stations, obviously, but... Like, I know, like, there's, like, 1,000 people in Antarctica, but... The North Pole is a bit different, because, you know... It's just ice. You don't sound too honest to me. No, why, man? But, she laughed quietly. I think you're a good person. Now she turned in. Oh, wow! What a surprise! Plot twist! I realized why her voice, stature, and everything else seemed familiar to me. Slavya stood in front of me. For a moment, I lost the ability to speak, but just for a moment. Or it can be a girl who looks like Slavya from a dream. Or am I experiencing the heaviest deja vu? The city's not a pioneer camp. I'm not wearing a uniform, and it's not summer now. Shouldn't convince myself it's just an illusion and instead ask a question. Have we met before? She clearly inspected me and smiled. I don't think so. Oh, your face seems familiar. Have you ever been to a pioneer camp as a kid? Of course not. She laughed. When I was born, they were already disbanded. Although, I had a dream recently. She thought for a second. Me too. I mean about the pioneer camp. Maybe it's where we met, the girl said seriously. Possible. By the way, my name's Slavya. My full name is Slavyana, but everyone calls me Slavya. You can do that too. I was about to tell her that I know, but then I didn't know that, I forgot. Then stopped short. After all, is it important why is Slavya from my dream staying here, right now in front of me, at this frozen stop of the tram bus number 410? After all, there are dreams where you don't wake up from. Mine's Semyon. What a lovely name. Starts with the S too. Yeah, oh, wow. You live far away, don't you? Well, not really. She named district. I thought it would be somewhere in the south. Why? Don't know. Maybe because you look like a pioneer. Oh, you and your pioneers. Slavya laughed. Maybe we won't ever meet if not them. Why? Wait. Hold on. We won't never meet, okay. Your expression became serious. Just a joke. Listen, do you agree that the world exists because we believe in it? That's like some kind of subjective idealism. Slavya thought for a bit. The school of philosophy came close to me recently. Well, I don't. I'm not that good with these subjects. What are your subjects then? She smiled. Everyone's. No doubt. But it's just been a few minutes since we met. Well, it seems like it's been much longer. For some reason, I've got the same feeling. An awkward pause followed. Snowfall has eased, but there's still no bus. I looked at my watch and assumed that it won't arrive at all. Slavya seemed to feel even colder now. As she got, her cheeks got more red, and her hands were clearly moving chaotically, trying to warm the body. Seems like the 410th bus is done for today, I guess. She said sadly. If you want. I started after putting myself up. You can stay at my place. Oh, we've just met. She left. She didn't seem frightened even the tiny bit. Yes, I understand, but it's cold outside. Aren't you afraid? Slavya looked at me playfully. Me? Should I? Who knows? Who knows? I also suggested, don't think of anything of that sort. Starting to make excuses. I understand. She laughed. If you don't mind, of course. She flushed even though it seemed impossible. Should we go? Let's just wait a bit longer. Maybe we'll arrive. Okay. So what are you doing in your spare time? Slavya asked after a while. Well, working at home, kinda. I just gotta tell you that I am doing nothing. Sounds good. Why? Don't know. You have a lot of free time. You don't have anywhere to go. So on. And you? Asked to change your subject of talk somehow. Studying. Getting an ethnographer What? Category? Who's that? Slavya asks seriously. Never mind. I'm an ecologist. How do you say that? Like I know, is it ecology? I don't know. Ecologist. I think. Well, career to be proud of. We're chatting about some random things and the bus was still nowhere to be seen. It was past 1 already. Time passed by so fast. I guess Slavya understood my thoughts. Let's go? She smiled. Stood up and moved slowly towards my house. She carefully held my arm and looked into my eyes. You know, I'm sure this year will be better than the previous one. Yeah? Yeah. Comfy guy. Every story has its beginning and its end. Every story has its own outline, synopsis, contents, key points, a prologue, and an epilogue. And there's no book which will not reveal things you didn't pay attention to previously after you read it. Every story has its beginning and its end. Almost every. What do I think about that? It's like the Alyssa ending. It's good, but is lackluster the correct word? I don't really think that's a great word. It should have. I wouldn't mind if like an epilogue like it did for like Lena's. Lena's probably had the best epilogue just because, you know, it'll let you know what happened. Oh, is there gonna be an H scene in the credits? I hope not. Doesn't look like it, no. Okay, that's good. Yeah, like the art style changes with all of them. Like, I know the art style changes with just the CGs in general, but the Slavya's, they're all different artists, I think. Well, guys, that's been a realistic summer. Well, no, it's not over yet. You know, that's been the Slavya good ending. Not over yet. Nope. Nope. Well, that's pretty nice. You know, we learned a bit more about Semyon as a character. You know, it didn't really expand on Semyon a lot in the other endings. But, okay. So, we, 3 endings, and then we finally get to the end. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. See you guys next time. Bye.